Rec-
Good morning. So yeah, yesterday was a busy day. So I did not make any recordings. I did do a short YouTube short actually, just get something out there in regards to just the truth of trading. It is going to be a process. It is going to be something that is not quick, doesn't happen overnight, um, and you just need to be ready for that. So, just getting on here right now is going through a few different things, trying to see what I can see get set up. It is Friday. Um, we already had some high impact news today. Um, NFP came out, so that was a big thing, the employment rate, and then looks like that's it for the rest of the day. So no biggie there, but see how things are going. Uh, and just pretty much just lay out how we normally do. So looking for uh, some areas in here. I'm going to clean up the chart, start fresh. Um, so on the daily, what has happened? Well, we've had a reaction from this level up here. So we can look for, actually, it looks like it's already happening, a retest of this area right there. It looks like we're going to get we are going to get a retest, so we could look for possibly a small bounce out of this, back up to the high for a double top, maybe for it to come back down if it's really going to break out of this trend that's been going on for quite some time. Um, we need a double top and then an actual break, probably of this structure right here, before we start making downtrend structure. So it's still possible to get a good bounce out of here. So, granted, it's Friday. Look at what Sunday turns around and makes out, and we'll see from there. Um, as far as uh within Sunday's time frame, we have a small break and retest zone here. Look to get into. It's possibly a short back down to here, or at least management. So if you do happen to get into a trade at this level here, you probably want to have your target somewhere around here because you could expect some sort of reaction. Another good possibility is to wait for price to come up, um, create that higher high, and then wait for a pullback somewhere in there before you start looking into another entry, probably around that area. Um, it might break up and come back down, or it could pull back a little bit lower. So just make sure you have your stops in a good safe spot. um, so other than that, that's all I pretty much see there is just those two areas there, and we'll see how things play out on the daily. So already marked this up earlier, waiting for a bounce out of this just based upon the overall trend. It could push a little bit further, but what I'd really be waiting on is a break of this small little structure zone here, which probably see better on the 1 hour. There you go. Um, Break above that and then a retest before continuation. That might be a little bit stronger. On the 1 hour, though, if you're going to take it based upon that, you probably want to come somewhere into these highs here, or maybe about somewhere here as far as your management, because if this is creating a lower high, um, then that's roughly what it'll look like there. And so that might be a good area. So if you can get into something on a lower time frame, once price bounces here on the 1 hour, maybe look at the 5 minute or 1 minute and see if you can get an entry in there. That'll probably want to be your original target, or at least start managing it from there. Um, you are in line with the bullish structure. So, I mean, if you wanted to go for it, you could be aiming for a much higher high somewhere way up here. But you never know. You never know when price is going to turn around on you. So, um, be careful with that. um, Odd USD, we've reached this daily level here and we've actually put in a double top. And so, with that being said, I'm waiting for price to turn around. This is about 50% of this move here. So if it's going to pull back somewhere around this area, it would line up with this smaller structure on the 1 hour. It's a very small structure. Almost, yeah, it's basically almost not even, it's not even really worth mentioning. It's really the 50% level of this move ish. It's the thing that lines up, although we've pushed a little bit farther since I've drawn this. So that's about 50% right there. which would line into this quick rejection there and everything like that. So that actually might make a little bit more sense. There we go. Just got to figure out what makes sense the way the price is moving. So if this is going to continue in this downtrend structure, that's you'd want to pull back into that. You can possibly look for that as a lower high creation, and then pull back to this area here. So that's what we'll be waiting on there. CAD CHF. This is where I stopped. I haven't looked at anything on here. What is going on? Let's clean out the chart here. What has happened on the daily? We're in a downtrend. Yeah, price has steadily been moving down. Drawing good work. Don't need the replay tool anymore. I was playing with that earlier. So where can we expect price to come back to? Possibly somewhere in this area here. This would line up with that downtrend area as well. So currently, though, we've been just ranging side to side. Do we have anything that we can play with in structure here? Nope. Looks like we got that support. This high resistance, which has only been touched that one time, so there's really no, might be able to count that, but let's just keep it here with this guy here. So it's possible you could take a bounce out of this, depending on how you feel, how it works out for you, or a bounce from that area there. Either one of those would work. So let's leave that for now. See what price is going to do. CAD JPY. We're breaking above this level here, and look into. Let's see, what are we looking at on the daily? On the daily time frame, we've already had a bounce out of this level twice. It's not really doing anything. Could we get another bounce as well? Yes, we could. So actually, let's leave that there. Let's clean this up a little bit. I'm going to drag it down here, bring it over to this our relevant highs. I'm not going to use this because that wasn't really a bounce. Let's clean that up, leave it clear. There we go. So if we can get a wick rejection there, then you already know what the process would be. Mark up the high and low of that wick rejection, and start looking for structure on the lower time frame for possible candle entries, things like that. Every now and then you get a wick like this where it's just a single wick and you actually don't get a double wick into that area. It happens. Other times you get things like this where you get the double wick area, and so that has structure in there. There's a nice little range in there that you can use to possibly get into a trade and capture a nice big move. So I have this alert here waiting for a close above this. It's an utter mess once you get down here. I was waiting for price to break these areas here and start giving some structure. I probably got an alert, but I probably didn't go look at it based upon how everything was going. It wasn't as clean as I was like. You got some wick rejections here and all this other stuff, and just messes with the level. So, if you were to keep going down, it gets messy. Price never actually came back into this level here to actually give any sort of retest. Did funnel away from it. So this is where it's like, that's the level I had, but based upon these wick rejections, like where you put it. Once you include the wicks, well, then you really don't, where do you start actually taking the trade? And then where do you actually start taking your profit? So it starts getting ugly like that. So let's jump back out to the daily. Look at what we have going on here. If we can break above this level that we've been just hovering at for quite some, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days of coming up and down into this level and really nothing, but now we finally getting a break above it. So that's looking pretty solid. We got about 2 hours left in this candle here before that closes, and it'll be closed above this level here. So that's a nice thing to look at. CAD or CHF JPY is roughly doing the same thing with the whole ranging. I was looking for a break above. Let's clean this up though, since price has not been doing anything of value. So this level here and then this high level here are the two areas I would look at for bounces out of. Currently, price is coming down. We have a small little downtrend happening here. It's just been really, really choppy. And so it's like, what do you do with that? Well, right now we're sitting in a range, so let's get out of that range. But with that being said, do you want to take it up? Do you want to take a buy into this downtrend or not? So more than likely, I would wait until price came back down here and gave something for a possible downtrend continuation. Price would have to, I believe, break this trend line and come back and then start creating some structure before you start looking for anything else. So that would be what I would be waiting on for that. That level is not as clear as I would like it to be. Let's do this. So we got that. We got that zone there, which probably set off an alert and I never actually got into. That would have been nice if somebody was into that. Oh wait, yeah, I didn't get into it. This was the one that we actually tracked all throughout last week, I think. I did mark up this this wick area here, one of these two wick areas, and we ended up taking a position, not taking an actual position, but setting a position in there, stop loss and everything like that, and it hit take profit, and it's just been steadily climbing. So it was like, if this was something that you were in targeting the extremes, you'd be either securing profits and letting some of it run, and it would still keep going, or you would have been completely out and would have been successful. So this was nice. Euro CHF. I was waiting for a bounce around. What do we got on the lower time frame? So it's possible. This was 1 o'clock on the 1st. Yeah, see, this would have been a nice entry to get into there, have stops right above that, but didn't get in. I really need to get better at actually placing my trades. Like, I see the setup, I know what I'm looking for, and it's like, I don't know, what was I doing at 1 o'clock? I missed this trade. So it's kind of frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. You're not going to be there for every single setup. You just got to make sure you take the ones that make sense. So, all right, so this is already done, played out. This is no longer a zone anymore because we aren't respecting it. We have a high here with a little bit higher high here on the 4 hour, but this is also a daily zone as well. So you'd have to account for that. So you could do, that's a really close zone. So I'd rather just wait till price comes up here. And then here's another bounce area as well. Price is bounced from. So we could put a alert there as well. And then, yeah, come here. There we go. Euro GBP. So on the daily, we've come across this level here. We've broken that level. Now we just need price to come back into that area. Another thing that we have on the 4 hour, which would just be a 4 hour possible pull back into this level here. That's a pretty big retracement when you look at this whole zone right there. Yeah, I know there's the fib tool, but I'm not using it. So that's 50% of that retracement right there. So that would make more sense than it coming all the way back down here, but it could. So this would probably be actually like the 618, the 71, or whatever. So, okay. So either one of those line up. So just trying to take into account that if you're going to get into a trade like this and you happen to get in here, having your stops below here probably wouldn't make sense, as this is also a very valuable zone. So maybe putting your stops below there. This still could be a 1 to 1.2. Just to come back to the highs. But if you're expecting price to continue in this uptrend, then you're expecting a new higher high. So you can even make it up to a 1.25, 26. So yeah. So watching that right there, I think I will put I already have an alert for the daily, an alert there as well. And let's just pre-plan that trade. So come back in here, give me a entry, and come up for the high. And yeah, that'll be it. Oh, 1 second. So that'll be that. Euro NZD. We've bouncing in and around this area. Looks like was waiting either a rejection out of this zone, which we're now coming back into it, or a breakup and retest. So this will all depend on how this candle closes. Let's see what the 4-hour looks like. Or I could look at the 4-hour and see how the 4-hour closes. So let's see how that works right there. And I'll just put an alert on there for the bar candle close. And then we'll see how that works out and probably keep track of that when we go. We have GBP AUD on the daily, waiting a bounce out of this area, but it looked like that did not happen. On the 4-hour, had two different setups going there. Neither one would have worked out. One was a wick fill area or wick bounce, and yeah, does not look like that would have either one would have worked out. Yeah, so neither one of those would have worked out. That would have been a loss. What do we have now, though? We have a daily zone that I'm waiting for price to come back out and bounce into. Price did close into this area here, but did not trigger, probably because, it closed outside that little zone area that I had. I'll still leave that there just in case price pushes a little bit deeper before coming back up. If price pushes a little bit deeper, then I'll look to take it up there as a possible bounce away from that zone. And then I'll add an alert back on there as well. So then we have GBP CAD. We've broken out of this trend line. It looks like we've created a lower high. So I would not be looking at this level for a retest or a bounce out of. I will be looking at for a retest once it breaks out of it. So I'll have to see how that goes. We'll need a close below this area. And then, let's do that. So now we've had that right there, and now we look like we're starting a downtrend. So let's leave that alone. GBP JPY, still look like it's playing out, just waiting for price to come into the zone right here for a possible bounce. We have been making lower lows and lower highs, and so it's very possible that this area will break now, and then we'll look for a retest there. The next zone area that you have a bounce out of, you could be looking at something like this, or a little bit further down. This would be just a support zone area there. So you have both of these zones right there where you could possibly see price bounce at. So it's likely that if you get into a buy here and it falls away from you, you could hedge, take it down there, look for another entry for another buy, for a buy bounce, and then work that out. So this is currently what I'll be looking at. GBP NZD has been just ranging. We're coming down to this level here. It's not as pretty though. So, and then GBP USD, price is coming down to the trend line area. We'll see. I'm waiting for price to break up above this area and continue going. Other than that, yeah, I'll leave that one alone. NZD CAD, waiting on that one. You see the setups here, just looking for a bounce here or way up there. That's pretty much it there. This has been ranging as well. I'll probably take this out and just look for stuff that makes more sense. Down here, need to include these guys here now. That'll be a zone, that'll be a zone, and I'll leave it alone. This is looking pretty good still. Although I wouldn't come back up here if it came up again. We haven't had a good bounce out of it. What's the 4-hour look like? Okay. 4-hour, that's about 50% of the move. And so I think that's what I would wait on. I'd wait on some response there before continuing down. It's possible to look at something like that as well, but I just don't see. That may be a good area to look if the daily closes, and look for a pullback before continuation. So that would work as well. On the daily, price has been coming as downtrend to this area here. Probably going to leave this alone if it does come in here and bounces, just because of the way it's just been trickling down. If price had a nice smooth move into it, that would have been a little bit different. USD JPY, just waiting for price to break down and break this, or to come back down and start creating some uptrend structure. We have this nice solid downtrend, which looks like it might be starting to break out. So for price to do just that, break out, and then come back here and retest this area, that's what I'd be waiting on. As it sits, that's currently what I have. I'm gonna leave these alone right now. Basically, they're just continuing going as entries and everything like that. It's all part of management, but I haven't really done anything with them, so nothing much has changed. And so we'll just leave those all alone, and we'll just see how the day progresses. All right, talk to you in a bit. Pausing the recording. Well, it is Friday, getting ready to close up shop. I think everything else has been going pretty smooth. I did take just a small sell on odd JPY. I'm already in 2 hedges here, just waiting for price to come down. I think I've talked about it earlier in another video. Looking for on the daily, we seem to be in a small little uptrend. We've hit this resistance area here, but it's a good. If we can get down here and get like a wick rejection, I might be able to get into a buy here to come back up, and then be able to close out all of these. We'll see how that plays out. So I just left that there. However, a buddy of mine was looking, and he had this 4-hour level, and we were talking about it, talking about this 4-hour level here, and he was looking. He's like, I just took a sell on this. I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm like, well, it's already pushed for me. I got a wick rejection there. I was looking at that wick rejection on the hourly though, and looking at what this looks like. And so I just did my 50% markup of this area here, and then dropped down to the 1 minute since it's the hourly, and started looking. And right about after price had come up here, it broke this level here, and then started to come back again, is where I placed a small trade. Stops above this area here, expecting price to continue down. Expecting price to continue down, and I got just a little one to, it didn't actually even go that far. Good gracious. So I just closed out like the 1 to 1.5. But it's the same concepts, just the using the higher time frame to help structure your direction and your trade. Just the way a candle develops and all that other stuff. And so this one ended up working out, and it's actually still going. I mean, by all technicality, this would have been a pretty 1 to 3 if I just let it run. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable in letting them run. It's just one of those things where you cut your winners short, and then you let your losers go all the way to your stop loss. This is where hedging has been a nice little thing, although I'm still learning that process as well. There's been some eye-opening experiences there. Nick Sean is where I've learned my hedging from, and he continues to enlighten me on different methods and techniques to be profitable with it. And so I'm just trying to apply them and see how that goes. As it stands, that'll be it for the weekend. I will look to see what next week holds out. I got all my alerts set up and everything like that. I might be doing some backtesting video, a backtesting video sometime this weekend. We'll have to see. There are some concepts I want to sit here and try out and figure out to make sure I understand them and start putting them and implementing them in live trading. But other than that, it's going to be great. So wish you guys the best. Have a blessed weekend, and see you guys on the charts on Sunday, if not Monday. Take care, and thanks for joining.